Hi folks, it's Switchback. When you're getting into RVing, there are a lot of things to know and a lot of things that if you've never used an RV before, you may not know. It's time to go.
And we've never hooked up a trailer like this before.
No.
I mean, we do have experience with trailers.
Yes. But not like,
This is
not a travel trailer. So this is a new experience for us. This will be interesting to see how it goes. We are attached and ready to go. I wanted to share a few that I had to learn. Some of these I had some idea about, but didn't really understand the gravity of them or have nearly as deep of an understanding as I do, even just being a few months into this. And some of these may seem obvious to people, but again, if you're new to this, you may not know. When you're opening or closing a slide, let it go the whole way. Don't stop it in the middle. Don't like pulse it or anything like that, and let it go until the mechanism stops or until you hear a change in the sound in the motor.
And when you hear that little...
So unless you're going to break something, you don't want to stop that slide going in or out because it can go off the track. And that can cause other problems. And it's also good to know that if the slide is tilted a little bit when you have it on the outside, that's normal. It's okay. Don't try to correct it. Before you hit the road, be sure to secure the fridge in some way and have everything inside of it secured. We use plastic bins for this, and there's also on ours a little knob that screws it closed. But when we rented one over the summer and it wasn't what our current trailer is, we had some soda cans that opened up the fridge along the road. And so some of these lessons you learn the hard way. And even if they don't open the fridge while you're on the road, they may come flying at you when you go to open the fridge. So keep everything secure for your own safety.
all the drinks were on the ground. Oh, I already cleaned it up.
Oh, okay.
All the drinks were on the ground. The salami was on the ground. The lunch meat fell so hard it broke the plastic.
Oh my.
Yeah. So I don't know what. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then somewhere around here there's some butter melting.
Cool.
So, anyways.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, good. I found it. The butter's right here. Good thing I haven't gone on the porta potty yet. I can touch the butter.
And on that note, be aware that driving your RV is like a 6.0 earthquake the whole time you're driving. And that's what they say anyway. Of course, this depends on what the road is like, or the stops and starts and the turns, etc. Keep in mind that everything inside really needs to be secure. Also know that there are no building codes for RVs unless it is a motorhome, in which case it has to adhere to the same kinds of standards that cars do, but a towable, fifth wheel, travel trailer, etc. does not have to adhere to any kind of standards. So the cabinets, for example, something might bust through the cabinet or bust open and fall. Be very, very mindful and avoid putting heavy things up high, which that part is, again, that might seem obvious, but you're living full time in an RV. You might have books on a top shelf or something like that. And so you may want to reconsider that. Every location that you're going to visit, a campground or RV park or whatever, will have size limits for every single site. Some of those are going to be like, 65 feet, which is beyond the length of any RV. Pushing that limit is not a good idea. That's the part I really didn't understand necessarily to the degree that I do now. And sometimes it's about the size of the site, and sometimes it's about the size of the roads in and out of the campground or even to the campground. If there are really, really narrow roads going, in trees and that kind of thing, you're really not going to want to push it with your 40-foot trailer, which is what we have, and end up being caught on a road stuck where you can't get out and blocking everybody and potentially damaging your rig, which is not a cheap or easy fix. So on that note, it's really important to know the length, the height, and the width of your rig. And if you are someone who has a toy hauler, which we do not, you may want to consider the extra length if you want to use your ramp or patio, because that's another 8 or so feet behind your rig. So if you're in a site for a 40-foot trailer and you're at a 38-foot trailer, you won't necessarily be able to put that down. Every RV has tires, and tires, of course, they're on every vehicle, but they are especially touchy with an RV. If you get a flat or a blowout, the damage can be pretty gnarly. And so tires on an RV require a lot more monitoring than they might on a regular vehicle. You'll want to visually inspect them anytime that you stop or are about to hit the road, but you'll also want to monitor the tire pressure. You will hear, if you get into the RV community, TPMS, TPMS, TPMS. It means tire pressure monitoring system. Those are a big deal. Our particular RV did come with one. That is not always the case. If yours does not come with one, you will probably want to invest in one. So these were just a few of the things that I had to learn, but there are many more. And if you liked this, I'm happy to share more of those with you. So let me know in the comments if you liked this and anything that you had to learn the hard way, potentially, when you got into RVing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.